Carolyn Dube here, and today I'm playing with one of my jelly prints. This colorful round jelly print was made in one pull using some of the techniques from my workshop called One Pull Wonders. And as I looked at it, I just kept thinking about a very colorful world. And as you know, I love to see color in everything, and Mary Nasser has this awesome stencil. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put these things together and make an art journal page based on that. A very, very colorful world. Well, once I've got the stencil taped on, then I came in with some heavy body acrylic white paint. Now, as I do this, I'm not being very careful. There are going to be some oopses, some mistakes on this, and you know what? It's not going to bother me. Some places where the paint ran under the stencil. Well, here's what that led me to, because every oops is just an outstanding opportunity that presents suddenly. So I decided, rather than worrying about those white smears and blobs that went under it because I stenciled very sloppily, I let it dry, and then I taped it back down, and then using a colored pencil, I went along and traced all the lines. And since I have the patience of a squirrel, and I'm really just not that precise or precision oriented, when I lift up the stencil, as I'm cutting out the world here, you're going to see that my colored pencil work wasn't perfect either. And guess what? I love the symbolism in that, because the world is not perfect, but just because it's not perfect doesn't mean it isn't incredible. So there are all sorts of flaws, mistakes, whatever you want to call them in there, and I choose just to see them as oops. They're all opportunities for me. Well, now that I've got the world in my hand and I'm about got it cut out, I totally have an idea of where I want to take this art journal page that completely comes from having the world in my hand here. Well, I grabbed my giant vintage ledger here that I use as an art journal, and what I have over there is some cleaning off of the brayer for my jelly printing, and there wasn't color on the other side, so I'm going to fix that by putting a little color on the other side. And I was just having such fun, I couldn't even wait for the paint to finish drying because I want to get busy playing. So I've got this figure of a woman, and I cut her out of a coloring book and then enlarged her to make a stencil out of her. I'm going to come in with more of that white paint, and I'm going to create this woman that is going to be holding up this very colorful world. She will have the entire world in her hands, all the imperfections of the world and all of the magic of the world, all of it in one, because we all know this world is not perfect, but it still can be a very, very wonderful place. And that whole other side with the pink just screamed to me that it was for me to journal. So I grabbed a colored pencil and I did some of my scribbled journaling and kind of dumped out the thoughts that I was having at the moment. Now I'm going to glue the world down, get it in position on her hands so that she really will have that world in her hand. After I saw her holding the world, I realized she was missing just a little something, and that little something was a bit of the colored pencil. So with the usual precision that I do just about anything with, I brought a little bit of a slight outline to her by sketching around the edges of her. Well, if you'd like to see more of my careful and precise ways of doing things, which, well, as you figured out, aren't very precise or careful, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll know as soon as I have a new video out. And if you'd like to have access to some exclusive goodies and a downloadable video, as well as videos that can only be seen by my newsletter subscribers, I'd love it if you stopped over and joined the newsletter. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.